We are here with Tengku Adnan, the Minister of Tourism for Malaysia. Thank you for joining us, sir.
Thank you for having me this morning.
You have executed a very successful, or we're in the middle of a very successful Visit Malaysia 2007 campaign. Tell us, what do you have in mind after Visit Malaysia 2007?
Well, actually it's a trade and marketing secret. But since you have asked, what we're going to do is basically we're looking at marketing, different marketing approach than what we're doing at this present moment. As you're aware that we've been selling Malaysia truly Asia, Malaysia as a brand name, and starting from July this year, we'll be selling basically our specific destination, Langkawi, Penang, Kuching, Kota Kinabalu, Malacca, Cameron Highlands, Fraser's Hill, Bukit Tinggi, Genting Highlands. We're going to be specific in our marketing approach after July. Basically, Malaysia is not only about Kuala Lumpur as a garden city, Kuala Lumpur, which have the tallest twin tower in the world. It's not only about Kuala Lumpur, Penang, Malacca or Langkawi. We've got a lot of other things. For example, in Terengganu, we've got the Monsoon Cup. In Kota Baru, every year we have the 100 ways of cooking rice. And the same thing with Pahang itself. We have a lot of facilities, not only Genting Highlands in Pahang. So people are only aware of Genting Highlands. In fact, there's Bukit Tinggi, there's lodging, there's a lot of other things in Pahang itself, which can be tourist attraction, which we are going to portray basically in our future approach to the market.
Malaysia is so diverse in its offerings. In addition to the cultural heritage, it has a lot of beautiful land and nature. How will you be featuring the arts and cultural heritage versus the nature as you highlight each of these areas?
Yeah, it's what you've just said, but you are correct in saying that Malaysia has got a lot of things to offer. Firstly, we are a destination, one whole year destination. You can come to Malaysia anytime. There's no specific time where you cannot come and have your holiday in Malaysia. We are basically 365, 366 days. You can come and enjoy our facilities. We are also looking at approaching the market like what we did recently during our Colours of Malaysia. Earlier, what we do many years ago, because it's the 9th time which we're doing the Colours of Malaysia, we portray basically the state's cultural activity. This year, what we did, we based on ethnic cultural activity. We start from the Aborigines of Malaysia, the ethnic groups of Malaysia, then the Malays, the Siamese ethnic group, the Indian community, the Chinese community, the people of Sabah and Sarawak, the Kadazan, the Iban community. So we are approaching it in a different way so that at least people would understand what Malaysia is all about. Because as you're aware, even last night when we portray the wedding ceremony on our dinner which we gave to the delegates, is basically from Perak. There's a lot of difference between Perak wedding ceremony and Selangor wedding ceremony. So these are the sort of things which we are going to portray basically. And we'll be very specific. If we sell a destination called Pahang, or we sell a destination called Kuantan, we will also explain about the cultural heritage of this area. For example, when we sell places like Kuching, we will also explain the cultural heritage of Kuching. For example, Kuching itself, there's a lot of things to see apart from the cultural of state of that city, but that city has also got a cultural village. And on top of that, many people did not realize that Kuching has got one of the best museum in Southeast Asia. There's a lot of artifacts which you will not able to see in any part of Asia. Basically, it's in Kuching.
With the new strategy, how will the private sector, tour operators, hotels in particular, tour guides that interact with the tourists, how will they be participating in featuring the persona, I'll call it, of their particular area?
You see, our job in Ministry of Tourism is a catalyst. We like private sector driven. We always, our government believe in government business is government business. Private sector business is private business. So we will just become the catalyst and we will basically tie them together with what we want to do. That's how we approach the market. Whenever we go, whenever we do our road shows, whenever we do, whatever even if you see in this conference itself, we brought in people who are in the crafts business with us. We also brought in some people who are in the trade fraternity people, trade fraternity in the tour trade fraternity areas, where they can meet buyers, can meet sellers, sellers can meet buyers. That's what we are doing basically, because to us, private sector initiative is the best move in any things which we would like to do. So we will persuade our private sector. We are also bringing a lot of journalists as well as tour operators overseas to come to Malaysia to look for themselves what we are talking about. Seeing is believing. I can say everything about my country, but if I can bring people from overseas who are in the trade to have a look at the what we are trying to portray, what we're trying to sell, what we're trying to entice people to come to our country, it's much better. To us, word of mouth is one of the best means of marketing, basically.
Which markets will you be focusing this on? Your traditional markets, or will you be emphasizing some new ones?
You know, Malaysia is a unique country, basically. Even my predecessor, Datuk Kadir, now he's a Tan Sri Kadir, Tan Sri Sheikh Kadir. When he went to the Middle Eastern country, a lot of other NTOs, other ministries think that Malaysia is mad. But now they realize what Malaysia have done. And they are also chasing after the market. We will go to new market. Apart from keeping the traditional market, we will go to new places. We will try and get people of these new places to come and use Malaysia as their holiday destination. We will still pursue the thing which he has left. And I'm also going to new markets, apart from the traditional market which we have, because we believe that there's potential in this new market where if we can get connectivity, we believe that once connectivity is available, people will come to our country.
Malaysian Airlines, MAS's new strategy, if we can take one quarter, one profitable quarter, first quarter of this year, does that mean it's this integrated, if we could call it that, strategy where they're leveraging themselves to be a leader of a hub in Southeast Asia? Is there something to that?
Of course, Kuala Lumpur would like to be another hub for Southeast Asia. We know that Singapore Changi, that's Bangkok. I'm not, we wouldn't like to compete with Bangkok or Singapore because we are in the same area. And to us, we work very well with Singapore, we work very well with Thailand. In fact, we're working, expanding our working arrangement with Indonesia, with Thailand, with Vietnam, with Hong Kong, even with Macau. Because to us, whatever I have, they might not have it. Whatever they have, I might not have it. And that's why we are also trying to create ASEAN as a single destination. So whatever MAS is doing, Malaysian Airlines is doing, is basically to strengthen its position, whereby the non-profitable, no-load, no-yield destination, we should share. That's why they're doing a lot of code sharing with so many airlines of the world. It is better for us to do code share and to make sure that both airlines survive instead of we just competing among one another. So that's a strategy which they're doing. And of course, MAS would like, we also would like Kuala Lumpur to become another hub. As you are aware that our biggest, the low-cost carrier is based in Kuala Lumpur. And the low-cost carrier, AirAsia, is flying basically practically to all over destination within this region. They've got frequent flights, they've got a lot of flights, and internally also we've got a lot of flights. So I think one must strategy is paying them off, and we're also working together with other airlines, with Singapore Airlines, with Thai Airways, with other Middle Eastern airlines, Etihad, Emirates, Qatar. We're also working with Cathay Pacific as well. So to us, as far as the Ministry of Tourism is concerned, Tourism Malaysia is concerned, we work a way whereby it's beneficial for both industries.
My last question relates to any plans you may have. You have regarding World Heritage sites. You have 3 on the tentative list.
Yes.
Is there any effort to more proactively pursue them to be a World Heritage site?
Of course, we would like to preserve what we have. We are also embarking in the conservation tourism, because we've got 130 million year old forest with us. You know that Sipadan is a World Heritage now because of its coral and marine life in Sipadan. UNESCO have given us a World Heritage status. Langkawi has been given another status of a geopark island. So we are looking into all this heritage which we have, because we believe this is an asset for us. And we are also looking at the carrying capacity of these places. Quite recently when I was in Langkawi, looking after they've got their, I think June they'll get the geopark status after being inspected by UNESCO. I went and have a look at some of the islands around Langkawi. So I've spoken to my Ministry of Environment that some of the islands we need to put in carrying capacity, because we believe that the capacity which is there, that small island couldn't take it, especially in Paya, in Pulau Paya, Pulau Dayam Bunting. These are the areas which we are looking at. We would like to preserve all this, and we hope that Indonesia would come on board quickly, because we are trying to get UNESCO to give us another area in Borneo, where we'd like to call it the heart of Borneo. Brunei have agreed. The 2 states of Malaysia, Sabah and Sarawak, they've already agreed. We would like to preserve the jungle there, basically for its flora and fauna and all the species which is in the jungle. We're waiting for Indonesia to agree with us, because some of these forests run through into Kalimantan. So this is what we're doing. To us, this is our asset, and we want to keep this as a heritage, so that our children to come, our future generation to come, can come and have a look at us, and then come and have a look at what their forefathers have gone through. Quite recently, for example, in Langkawi, last year, towards the end of last year, we had a traditional squid catching. And now squid catching from the sea. It's traditional. We don't use nets, we don't use anything. It's basically traditional sort of catching. We've got about 40 over participants from Europe. They were excited. We explained to them this is how our forefathers catch squids before. This is how our forefathers catch fish before. They don't use all these nets. They don't destroy the environment. You know, but they still catch the fish. They still catch the squids, and they're very excited. And we've got a squid challenge. So they've asked us to, because we tried last year, and they've asked us to pursue it for this year. And they said they would come back and would tell some more friends to come and experience what they've experienced, basically. So these are the sort of things which we'd like to do. We want to have a conservation tourism. We are also looking at this big cruise liner coming to our part of the world. We do not want them to come and destroy our waters, as what they've done in the Caribbean. We are also looking at that areas as well, because maybe many people never realize, from Yangon to Manila Bay, this is actually the eastern Caribbean. To me, I call it the Caribbean of the East. There's a lot of islands, there's a lot of beautiful beaches, beautiful sea, beautiful marine life, beautiful corals. We don't want this to be destroyed. So we will definitely work with our ASEAN neighbors, and also work with ourselves, work with our environment ministry, to ensure that the carrying capacity is being put. For example, this present moment in Sipadan itself, we only allow 120 divers a day, no more.
Where?
In Sipadan Island. 120 divers a day, no more. Even though we know the carrying capacity can take up to 180, but we said no, we just leave it 160, 120. Of course, the trade people are asking us to increase to 160. We say we'll go to look at the capacity of because we do the carrying capacity of the area, because we don't want divers to go in to destroy the corals, and the fishes, the marine life. And we were told that Sipadan Island has got more coral species and marine life than even Great Barrier Reef of Australia. And we want to preserve them. And we will keep on pursuing on preservation and conservation tourism system.
Sounds like an exciting and very positive future for Malaysia's tourism. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much, and I hope that your viewers would make Malaysia as their top-of-the-mind tourist destination. And as I always said, the time is now, and the place must be Malaysia. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.